What's up, TikTok? So this happened.
This is a message for our United States military, the Air Force, the Army, the Marines, the Navy, Coast Guard, SpaceX.
SpaceX? You mean the program that was made by the guy who makes Teslas?
Oh, man.
Space Force, my guy. Moving right along.
Everybody that considers himself a person that would defend this country, where are you?
I'm at work, defending this country.
We thought the military took an oath to protect this country. They took an oath to protect our Constitution. That includes enemies, foreign and domestic.
We did take that oath to protect and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. You know, domestic. Like a woman who decided to drive her vehicle through a National Guard vaccination tent. But keep that same energy.
Where are you, military? Because if you're leaving it up to the American people, you need to let us know, because everybody's on the edge of their seat. You've got millions and millions of gun owners that are ready to walk out and just start a complete bloodbath. And we're beginning to wonder where our military.
I mean, I'm no expert, but that sounded like a terroristic threat. Because not you talking about a bunch of gun owners going out and starting a bloodbath. Like, have you never heard of the Insurrection Act? There's reasons why the military doesn't deploy within the U.S. And if they did, your little good old boy system is not going to fare well for you. Understand that if active duty military actually get deployed within the United States, that weapon is not just pointed at other people, other countries. It's pointed at you. If you do not get in your house when I tell you to, you become the enemy. Martial law. You know, where your rights get curtailed. You don't have all those same freedoms that the Constitution guarantees at that point. So be careful what you wish for and stop opining about things you don't understand. Okay, bye.
What the hell is this woman even trying to say? I mean, she begins with a rant about how the military is basically supposed to cater to her personal emotional needs. And then she swerves off into a tirade about how her and her fellow brethren are prepared to hit the streets and start shooting at anything with a pulse. Now, tactically speaking, these people don't stand a chance at pulling off any type of real purposeful mission. However, hurting innocent civilians in the process is certainly not beyond their reach. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jackson White, co-founder and chief of content at Politoscope, and thanks for tuning in again today to TYT. Now, this right here has been the real danger all along. The ever-intensifying boldness of the right wing to take matters into their own hands. And as polarity intensifies, tension between the left and the right is only going to continue. And far too often, what taking matters into their own hands means is senseless political violence in the streets.
Look closely. There they are on the newly released security video. 9 men in matching tactical gear moving as a unit inside the Capitol.
And so, if not already, these types of threats really need to be taken seriously by everybody.
Ma'am, I canceled the ride. Please get out of my car.
Are you kidding me right now?
You've been screaming at me the whole time. You put in the wrong address. Get out.
Here's just a sample of what many rideshare drivers have to deal with.
I just wanted to go to the courthouse.
Yeah, and you gave me 3 different addresses. Now you're telling me to go to East.
You put it on your phone.
Yeah, because I could have just canceled. You should have put the right address on. I don't have anything to do with it.
Planned Parenthood is not the right.
I didn't put that in. You know what I do? I accept the ride. I take the ride. It tells me where to go.
Okay.
It's your job to put in the right.
Give me the whole situations.
The passenger put in the wrong address, then blamed the driver.
What was the address?
The address that you put, that I was assigned to, because I don't touch the addresses, because I don't know where the hell you guys are going,
Okay, so
was Planned Parenthood. We got there. You were still being rude to me.
This is what it says on my address.
Can you please get out of my car?
Well, then you're not getting paid.
I don't give a shit. I'll talk to Lyft about it. I could literally deny you because you're rude.
We gotta do better for these people, man.
Can you leave my car? The ride's canceled. Can you get out of my car?
It ends there, so let's discuss this. In 2018, Wired had a write-up on these frontline workers. What gets far less attention is the abuse, verbal and physical, that drivers endure. In November, a shocking video of a drunken T-Bell executive beating an Uber driver went viral. More recently, a witness filmed a Miami doctor trying to kick a driver before trashing his car. And these are just a few incidents that made headlines. No matter what you call it, providing rides to strangers carries the risk of harassment and violence. It's why your parents told you never to pick up hitchhikers. But while the risk to passengers of using rideshare services has been widely debated, the risk to drivers has been largely ignored. When it comes to threats to driver safety, Lyft says it keeps detailed records whenever it's contacted about a ride-related incident. Uber also says it tracks incidents involving the safety of drivers, but the companies decline to share specific numbers. Still, if ride-sharing companies don't make their figures public, federal regulators do. Taxi drivers are over 20 times more likely to be murdered on the job than other workers, the U.S. Occupational Safety and Health Administration said in 2010. In a 2014 report, the Bureau of Labor Statistics found that of 3,200 taxi drivers who were hurt or killed on the job, 180 sustained injuries caused by a violent person, about 5.6%. Another unfortunate pillar was rideshare companies spending a record-shattering $220 million on arguing Prop 22 would protect California's app-based workers' flexibility while providing benefits, including health insurance stipends and safety trainings. Prop 22 passed on the November 2020 ballot with 58% of the vote. The problem was this quote-unquote victory gutted drivers of basic employment rights, including healthcare benefits, an hourly minimum wage, and health and safety standards. Labor law professor Vina Dubal called Prop 22 the most dangerous law to workers since Taft-Hartley, which dramatically restricted unions, arguing that it sets a dangerous precedent for employment standards across industries.
Life of a black FedEx driver in Louisiana.
You want the number?
What?
You want the number?
I don't need no number. You want to fight? We'll go down the road, bitch. I'll beat you. I really live like that, boy.
Oh, Lord.
Out of here.
I got deliveries to make.
You are stop flying through here.
Ooh. Hey, Merry Christmas to y'all, though. Oh. Oh, shit. Hey, this is the everyday life of a FedEx guy, a black FedEx guy at that, man. We got out here, man. These boys.
This FedEx driver was just trying to make some deliveries in this neighborhood, and then he was confronted by a racist couple, harassing him for no apparent reason. But I think we all really know that the reason is because this delivery driver was black. And there's a lot of things going on here that I really want to break down. First and foremost, it's important to remember that this is what capitalists want. You can see clearly that they're in the middle of a trailer park. These folks are not millionaires by any measure, and they're choosing to express their anger and frustration at another member of the working class, somebody who's just trying to do his job. And there's a lot of videos like this out here on the internet, but we really need to fully understand this phenomenon, because the reality is that this type of racism is exactly the fuel that capitalism depends on in order to survive. Keeping working class people divided along racial lines is a critical component of American capitalism, and always has been since the first labor unions tried to form between indentured servants and slaves in the early colonial period. The racism that is directed towards workers is a tool that capitalists use to keep people's wages low and to give excuses to fire people. Like, let's be really honest. When people threaten to go complain to the manager, what they're really trying to do is threaten that person's job. And so when people are harassing regular workers that are just trying to go about their day, they're harassing them in such a way that they know that their job is potentially threatened if their manager is unwilling to support them. Keeping people in an economically unstable position where they might potentially lose their job because some random person decides to make a fuss about nothing is what allows these capitalists to constantly drive wages down. The more insecure people are in their jobs, the more desperate they might be for any wage at all, and the more willing they might be to accept lower wages. This in turn drives down the wages not just of black employees who have to deal with racism both from their managers and from customers, but also drives down the wages of white employees also. And these sort of racist outbursts are exactly what was created to ensure that that system is perpetuated. This is why anybody who seriously wants to challenge capitalism needs to fully understand and also challenge white supremacy. Because white supremacist beliefs are both pervasive through the United States and an incredibly powerful tool that capitalists use to keep the working class both divided and powerless.